So good morning, and the um, the topic for the little Dharma talks this week is loving kindness, is Metta, and I thought I would offer you a guided meditation on Metta that maybe brought you in to one way to do it, the practice, and it's meant to be a very simple practice. It's meant to be what I want to offer. And it's best not to try too hard, um, to relax and to and to um, just kind of feel the tenderness inside. So to take a meditation posture and gently close your eyes. And perhaps there's a way that you can gentle your insides. Gentle yourself into your body. If you're agitated, if you have a lot of energy or concerns, no worry. Perhaps take a moment to feel your body against whatever surface it's resting on. Your cushion, your chair, your bed, on the floor. And feel the solidity of that contact. And taking a few long, slow, deep breaths. And as you exhale, see if you can release yourself to the pull of gravity in those places where the body is touching a surface. If you're sitting upright, stay upright, but settle firmly into the place where you are in contact with the surface. So there's a kind of definitiveness to being here in this place. You are recognizing that you are here. And then letting your breathing return to normal. And on the inhale, recognize that you're here now, at this time. That an inhale only happens in the present moment. Establishing yourself here at this time, where this valuable, important function of breathing is occurring. And rather than having the mind there and then, is to begin to settle the mind here and now. Now as you breathe in, here as you exhale. And here, as you exhale, to relax your body, to go through the body and relax the face, the shoulders, the chest and the belly. And as you continue to feel the energy of your mind, any agitation, pressure, tension, pulling or tightening associated with the mind. And as you exhale, perhaps you can relax and soften the mind. Maybe imagining it's like a wave that smooths out. The mind becomes a wide, flat surface of a peaceful lake. And the waves of thinking become quieter. And then to search inside yourself for some place where you feel an inner warmth or an inner tenderness, maybe associated with the heart area, a place where things are gentle and peaceful. Maybe it's also a place that feels a bit vulnerable. Maybe it's a place where you associate with love or compassion, kindness, not as an idea, but when it's strong for you, the place in your body that it vibrates or is activated. And feeling that place that might be tender or warm. As you breathe, breathe through it. Breathe with it. Breathing in now with this warm, tender place. Breathing out through it or with it here in this place. And if you feel no warmth or tenderness now, that's fine. But you might see if you can remember a time in your life where you did feel that. Or think about a person or a being that's easy for you to feel great appreciation or delight, love. And then is there a place in your body that somehow is associated with how you feel in this way? And perhaps from this tender place or soft, warm place, you can appreciate yourself and how it might be possible to have this warmth, love or kindness spread through your body. Even though if it doesn't do that, just the idea that it could, it's a potential, can be inspiring and inspiring for you to stay close, intimate with this place of warmth and tenderness inside. And maybe you can feel some inner capacity, however simple and slight it might be, for kindness, for maybe a gentle kindness or a warm kindness, or a sense of goodwill, a willingness for a few moments to suspend other attitudes, ideas, and for these moments to connect to what's inside that has a quality of goodwill or kindness. Breathe with it. And as you exhale, imagine that that goodwill radiates outwards like a light bulb, shining in all directions. And as it shines and radiates, it passes outwards through your whole body. Like a light is turned on, or a wonderful warmth is turned on. It spreads through your body. And perhaps as you exhale, imagine that this radiance spreads out from you out into the world. Almost as if your breathing begins in the place of warmth or kindness, expands as you breathe in, and spreads outwards as you exhale. Allowing the thinking mind to become quieter and stiller, so you can better feel and sense and imagine your goodwill, your kindness, encompassing more and more of the world, radiating outwards in all directions, radiating, spreading, being transmitted out on the gentle waves of exhale. You might think of having a small half smile, turning up the corners of your mouth just a teeny bit. And if there's any slight delight or joy that comes with doing that, or slight pleasure, maybe let that mingle with your kindness, your goodwill, your metta that radiates out from you in all directions. Imagining that your warmth, your kindness, as it spreads, brings a sense of peace and warmth and love to every being it touches. Like the morning sun that, when it shines, begins to warm up the creatures that feel its rays. And if it helps the thinking mind be quieter, and if it helps you to stay more in this meditation, on the exhale you can very gently, softly say a word like love, or metta, or kindness. With a word being kind of a pointer or fuel for the sense of goodwill that radiates from you. from the tenderness within. As you breathe in, to open and expand the place of warmth within. And as you exhale, to let that open warmth spread and radiate outwards through your body into the world. An abundance of love spilling out in all directions. Breathing in and breathing out. Radiating whatever sense of care appreciation you have for this world of beings, for others. Putting aside for now any other more complicated relationships to people, just for the simplicity of now, your own goodwill, your own love is so precious, so valuable. Give yourself a chance to feel it and be with it, breathe with it. And then as we come to the end of this sitting, take a few moments to reflect on how this meditation has been for you and how it might suggest or inspire or a way to enter the world with greater kindness, greater love or goodwill. And how as you get up and go about your day, how you might enact in small ways and big ways greater expressions of kindness and goodwill, care, metta for the people around you, for the world around you. Not just leaving it to chance that you'll be a kind person today, but to think about small or big ways that you might actually do this today. And then to wish that this be so. And may we live in such a way that we contribute to the welfare and happiness of all beings. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe and healthy. May all beings everywhere be free. In the ancient teachings of the Buddha, there's a record of a conversation of someone coming to the Buddha and with great enthusiasm for mindfulness, and said that when people practice mindfulness, then everything goes better for them. Everything works out well for people who are mindful. And the Buddha said, actually, it's a little different. It's when people have mindfulness and loving kindness that everything goes well, that everything is good in a certain way. And so it's remarkable that the Buddha, who emphasized so much mindfulness, really brought in loving kindness as a companion, as a partner to a mindfulness. And it's an experience of many, certainly I've heard this from teachers, fellow teachers, and my own experience, that as mindfulness gets stronger, or as loving kindness gets stronger, they kind of merge. That with the well-developed mindfulness, loving kindness seems to come along with it. And with very strong, developed loving kindness, mindfulness comes along with it. And maybe with strong mindfulness, it kind of opens up and releases all the places were held back, closed. And so the natural tenderness can be there, that from which care and goodwill and love can radiate. And as loving kindness gets stronger and stronger, we're more and more in the present moment. We're not thinking about other things. It's so compelling to be here and now when metta is strong, that mindfulness comes along with that. So the two can be seen as partners. And some people find they don't need to practice loving kindness in order to have it grow with loving kindness. But there's also the practice of loving kindness. And some people will intentionally do meditations in loving kindness. Or even go on metta retreats, or do whole retreats where the primary thing they're cultivating is this loving kindness or metta, this warmth. And it is quite something to have the primary activity, focus of the mind be love, be kindness. And that just like you would maybe if you're focusing on the breathing, and you can get really concentrated and feel you're right there with every breath, and it feels so delightful to kind of be finally in the present moment, and the mind is not scattered and distracted and just really present. So in the same way, one can do that with this, with the practice of loving kindness. And rather than the primary characteristics of the mind is preoccupation or neurosis or anger or resentment or hurry or fear or wanting to get things and get things done, and I mean all the kind of things that often can preoccupy a person as they go through the daily life. Rather than the mind being preoccupied that way, the mind is occupied with loving kindness, with metta as the primary focus, the primary characteristic of what we think, what we feel, what we experience in the body, and what we're motivated by. And it's kind of a gathering together, just this unification, this oneness with just loving kindness. And it's a phenomenal thing to have it become strong, and the predominant kind of way of being is one then that's saturated, filled with this kind of goodwill and love. And it's just a great thing, and it's a way of experiencing a deep peace. For some people, the practice of loving kindness is phenomenally healing. That as it gets strong and begins to kind of be medicine almost for the places inside that are wounded or hurt or afraid or closed, and its warmth tends to kind of settle things and relax things and open things for us. The Buddha gave this kind of visualization. He said, imagine that there is an easily accessed pond with clear, delightful, refreshing, cool water. If a tired, parched, and thirsty hot person, scorched and exhausted by the hot weather, came across the pond, the water would be used to quench both the person's thirst and the hot weather fever. It is the same for a person who becomes a practitioner and after learning the Buddha's teachings, cultivates loving kindness. For this person gains inner peace, and because of this inner peace, cultivates what is appropriate for the path of liberation. So here the loving kindness can provide this cool, refreshing, kind of sense of peace to a person. It's maybe a little bit point out that in that guided meditation I just did, I emphasized warmth, and here in this example the Buddha gave, he talks about coolness, and this might represent a difference between two different cultures. That English was kind of evolved in cold, cool England, where warmth was really a nice thing. And India being a very hot country at times, that coolness is really valued there. So either way. And so this practice of loving kindness meditation on loving kindness can be developed. And the idea that one would have a designated time to really develop or grow or expand, or I like to use the word release, the care, the goodwill that's within us. And that person who would spend time doing that is a great gift to the world. To really let this precious resource, something the Buddha called a wealth, inner wealth, that loving kindness or love or goodwill, and let that actually become strong. Not to leave it to an accident, not to leave it to just, it'll just appear when it does, and it's here some days and some other days it's not here. But to actually take time to cultivate, develop it, make it strong, make it easily accessible, easily called upon in a way that's sincere and is authentic. And here's one description of a state of meditation, that very strong state of meditation. So it's what's possible, and hopefully it's inspiring to know this is a human possibility, to have the feeling of this metta be this strong as this description describes. So the first half of it describes someone getting kind of for this situation, preparing oneself to have very strong loving kindness in meditation. Delight is born when one sees oneself purified and freed of greed, ill will, anger, revenge, contempt, bossiness, envy, deceit, and wrong view. So isn't that kind of great? Delight is born when one sees that one is purified and freed from greed, ill will, anger, revenge, contempt, and so forth. When delighted, joy is born. When joyful, the body becomes tranquil. Someone whose body is tranquil feels happy. For someone whose body is tranquil, the mind becomes concentrated. Now, with this concentrated mind, this is a description of very strong state of loving kindness. One abides pervading the east with a mind accompanied with loving kindness, and likewise the south, the west, and the north. Above, below, and all around, everywhere, and all over, one pervades the whole world with a mind accompanied with loving kindness, extensive, expanded, limitless, free from hatred and ill will. Even if it was just a mind that was free of hatred and ill will, it would be pretty good and wonderful, since those are so painful and for this world of ours. But to actually cultivate the sense, the radiance, the fullness of loving kindness, that it feels like it radiates and spreads from us in all directions, east, south, west, north, and all around everywhere, kind of filling us, filling the field of our awareness, filling what seems like the whole world with it. It's that strong, it's that pervasive. It's like a wonder, we say sometimes that someone whose anger has a cloud hanging over them, you kind of feel this radiance of maybe anger or hostility from them. It's possible to feel a radiance of love and kindness in oneself. It kind of radiates and spreads outward. It's phenomenal that we have this capacity to get so centered and so focused and so absorbed into these beautiful, beautiful states. And some people say, no, it can't be true, or it's too artificial, or it's too sweet, or you can't be safe in those states. Well, we're talking about meditation state, so um, we're talking about a meditation state, and so what we do when we come out of meditation is maybe different. But it's said that loving kindness is one of the ways to create tremendous safety for ourselves, to be kind and friendly in this world. And some people will feel that practicing this way is kind of selfish or self-absorbed or just doing something for one's own pleasure. But I would say that it's the opposite, that we benefit certainly from it, but it really allows us to go into the world, to benefit the world, to be better citizens, helpful people, to not cause harm in the world, to actually care about other people in a profound way. And this is what I hope we can have, is a world where we care about each other and live together and with goodwill and kindness and support. So the practice of loving kindness, and what I offer you today is sometimes called a practice of radiating loving kindness. That's very different from the more classic way of practicing loving kindness, which is to use phrases and to progressively kind of do it for different categories, with oneself, a benefactor, a neutral person, an enemy, and to spread it out from there. And both are great practices, but some people find it simpler and less complicated to just do the radiance. And this seems to be how the Buddha taught it, because the Buddha gave no instructions for this, the different categories and using words to cultivate loving kindness. So someone asked for a citation. I read a few different things, but one of them is from the Middle Length Discourses, discourse number 40. So I hope that you will give some reflection today and about loving kindness and care, goodwill, and maybe you can even have conversations with people about what their experience is with goodwill and how they evoke it and how they practice it, how they spread it, what the value they see in it. And experiment a little bit and see if you can go about the day with experimenting with practicing a bit more goodwill than you would have been if you hadn't heard this suggestion. So thank you very much, and wonderful to be here with you, and we'll finish this series on Metta tomorrow with the topic of Metta and liberation. Thank you.